everybody, it's Sharon here. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to any new subscribers that might be joining us for the first time. I just wanted to do, I wanted to finish off some items that I had started on previous videos, and I'm working on them for my wedding journal and I need to get them finished, so I thought I'd quickly turn the camera on while I finish those off. If you haven't looked at those videos, you can go back and watch them. So the first thing I wanted to have a play with are these negative punch outs. So I've just used my paper punch to punch those out, and I've popped it away, so I'll just see if I can find it. Here we go. So I've just used that to punch out these from book papers, and then I've gessoed them and I've inked them with Vintage Photo, and I've been trying to decide how I wanted to use them. I didn't have a complete plan when I went ahead and punched them out. So I've had a little play with a couple of things on my desk, and this little image had been calling out to me. It's from ArtVintages, and I've just make sure that's focusing for you. I've just printed them out so that they're itty bitty, and I have a few here to play with, and I've actually cut this one down slightly so that it fits behind. So I'm hoping you can see that, but it's still not overly sturdy. So I decided I wanted to do that, but then I wasn't sure how to make them sturdier. And I'm not sure that I want to put photos or pictures in each of the spaces. So I actually looked at this piece of brown card, and I'm thinking I might attach the photo at the back and then attach that to this card, and perhaps leave a space at the top open, and they may be able to, the new owners may be able to slide in a little photo of their own if they want to, assuming this works. So I have inked this. I don't know that it was necessary, because I think once it's behind this little frame you're not going to see it so much, but I have done it anyway. So I'm thinking I might pop this image in the middle and leave the outside frames free. Now I don't know if it's possible to even get a photo that small. I guess you can, but they might have a little memento or something that they want to pop into the frame. So I just thought the negative space might be good, and make it not quite so busy. They can add a little bit of their own flair. So I think I popped way too much glue on here. Okay, so just making sure that I don't want to squeeze it too hard at the moment, because I do have some excess glue. And I might just let that sit for a second. Just making sure that you're focused. I noticed in a previous video my camera wasn't using the autofocus very well, so I'll try and keep an eye on that as I go. So it looks like that's going to stick okay. Sorry, I've got a couple of glue strings and I've just got a little tiny bit of excess glue in there. I find with this glue, if I rub it lightly with a paper towel, it tends to lift off, which I really like, because I do tend to get excess glue on things quite frequently, especially with itty bitty glue like this. I do love the look of the art glitter glue. The nozzle on that is so fine, would be perfect for things like this. I need to source me some of that. Okay, so I actually really like that. And then if I frame that out on my card, I think that would look really nice on the page. So I might glue it down and then cut it, I think. We'll see how this goes, guys. I really don't know if this plan is going to work out, but all we can do is try. Sorry, I will just check the focus for you. My apologies for that. Trying really hard not to put too much excess glue on here. But I do want enough that it will actually adhere. And what I might do is pop some glue on this center picture. And I'm not going to put any on the top. Sorry, I just need to get a little bit closer to myself so I can see where I'm lining it up. Okay, I'm just going to turn that over and just burnish it slightly to make sure it's stuck down properly. Now, I'm wondering, it's a bit thick to get in there, but it has actually left a nice opening at the top, so I'm really happy with that. I don't know what they may put in there. They may not put anything in there, but I'm really happy that that worked. So I might leave that to stick a moment longer. And I do have these others here, so I will do the bigger one, I think. I'm just trying to decide which picture. Actually, I might use that. It looks like a slightly smaller image, so I might use that one for, I might do the 2 lots of 3 and then the double, I think. And just leave one open on the double. And then I'm thinking they'll be nice and sturdy and I'll be able to use them as a tuck. Because they've got the backing paper, I can stick them to, that's a good one, it's a nice small image. I can stick the back to the top or bottom of the page, creating a tuck spot as well. Like I said, purely experimental. I don't know if anybody has done anything like this, and I certainly haven't seen any videos. It was only that I managed to purchase the punch from a crafting page that I'm on. It's a D-stash page, and I love photos, so it spoke to me, and negatives have a real vintage feel for me, so it really fit my aesthetic as well. So at the minute I'm trying to cut it narrow enough so that I don't get any white showing behind those little lines. That's my aim. Sorry if I was cutting off camera a second ago. I wasn't actually looking to see where I was placed. I kind of had a tendency to move to the side when I'm cutting because the camera is directly above me, so it kind of helps me see a little bit clearer. but then I wasn't thinking about you guys. No, I think that'll be just okay, so I'll have to slide it around when I get it adhered. And I'm not going to ink this one because you really can't tell that the other one, oh, actually, it's too late once it's on there, so I will add just a slight bit of ink. And again, you see, I'm pulling things closer to me. Honestly, you'd think I would get used to this whole camera thing. It really is a work in progress, guys. So again, just trying to go very lightly with my glue. Testing my power of control. And making sure my image is the right way up. Not that there is a right or wrong because the text is sideways, but I guess I know which way I flipped it. And again, I don't want to press too hard on it just for now. As the glue dries a little, I will give it a little bit more of a nudge. While it dries a little, I'll just work on this one. These really are very tiny. I'm not actually sure how big they are when they're punched. Let me have a look. So it's 1 1/4 by 1 roughly, to give you a general idea. Apparently I can't talk and do detailed work at the same time. Sorry guys. And with this one I can actually push it towards the right side a little bit more because it will be glued down anyway. And I think that's just a fraction too much. My image is upside down. And I think that should work. Okay, so I might just push that one down a bit more. Make sure it's well adhered. And it's good to go. And then this one, again with my gluing skills. And I have a little excess glue. Sorry, just getting some paper towel to clean my nozzle. It's not an overly fine nozzle, but it doesn't do too badly. It's not really made for this detailed gluing, but it does get me out of trouble when I need something a little bit finer to work with. Just gently laying that on there so I can, oh, it's actually got on perfectly. Who knew? Okay, so while that dries slightly, I will adhere this one to my cardboard. And I might still use the top edge as a guide. So, making sure I'm still in camera for you guys. What not to do when you are videoing. You need to open the glue for it to work. I feel like I've had so many bloopers since I started videoing so I could share with you all. But, you know, that's okay. That's real life, isn't it? That would be how it would be if I was here by myself. It's just that the camera, excuse me, the camera is on at the same time. Oh goodness. Okay. And I'm just using the back of my thumbnail. I don't want to apply too much pressure, but I do want to make sure it's adhering to the paper in all spots. So I find if I use the bone folder, sorry, mental blank, it oozes the glue out. Everything comes seeping out the edges, and I find if I use my thumbnail I can just apply enough pressure to get the result I need without that oozing effect. I don't know, I seem to have more control. Okay. Oh my goodness, I'm so happy with the way these have come out. Got a tiny little bit of excess glue in that corner. Okay. So I'm going to cut. And again, this is like the equivalent of me fussy cutting on camera, and sometimes I'm not the straightest. At least with these I have a bit of a guide. I don't know if you guys can hear my tummy. I'm so sorry. It's decided to speak to me right now. Guys, I'm so happy with that. I really love it when a plan comes together. Okay, so just cut these two out. And actually I will just burnish that slightly heavier now that it's been sitting for a moment. I really wanted to get going with these about 2 days ago, but I have been trying to put it off so that I could let you guys keep up with the progress as I started filming the beginning of it. I've had not problems, but it is taking me forever to upload videos. So I think it took me 12 hours to upload one 2 days ago, and then I had 2 or 3 more to catch up on yesterday. it's been a crazy amount of time, not something I was expecting. So, and I don't know if it's just due to, I don't know, service problems that we've got where I live, or I did stay up quite late last night working on my wedding journal, and I found that the videos uploaded so much quicker. So I think that will be key. I think the key for me will be to sit up until the wee hours of the morning and upload my videos then if I want to do it, because truly it was so much quicker. So I decided to just give those a quick re-ink. We've had a really cool change here since yesterday. One day wearing short sleeves and the next day wearing the winter woolies. Can't keep up. Although it is a really nice change from the extreme heat we had a few weeks ago. Okay, so just, whoops. Aren't they pretty? And if I can get my book. That's how they will look on the page. So I'll just glue across the top or across the bottom. I'm thinking the bottom, and that will allow access to, well, actually that could work at the top. I'm just thinking they will lift a little bit, whereas it won't at the top, but it could work either way. And then they'll make a really neat tuck spot to slip something behind as well. So I'm really happy with those guys. Okay, so that's a big tick. They can go in my box. And I've just made a couple of extras. I can pop one in my inspiration ideas book and work on those later. The other thing I wanted to work on that I started with you all is, oops, seems I have them buried, guys. Got an avalanche happening. Is these tags. So what I've done is I've actually, I believe when we had our video, I got them as far as gluing them. Sorry, I just want the camera. Got as far as gluing the maps onto them. And the next part of the process, I did do those three off camera so I could work on them further with you all, but I left, so this is the one that I didn't have enough of that map page and decided to just collage with my scraps, and it's come out beautifully. So you could do either. You could do a collage, or you could do a whole sheet of whatever the background paper is that you wanted. And I simply took this, and this is the same sheet that I used for the others, and I just dry brushed. Now my brush has been sitting in some water, so it's not completely dry, but I've just dried it off on some paper towel to get it as dry as I can. And just a nice light coat of the gesso. Now, I did actually do 2 coats on the other tags. And I'll finish this one off. And this dries really quick, so you really don't have to wait for long to be able to do the second coat. In actual fact, I think by the time I finished doing the 3rd tag, I went back and I did the second coat straight away. I'm sorry about my really long brush. I still haven't had a chance to go looking for one that will work better while I'm filming. I feel like it's right up in your face. I hope not. I'm hoping it's slightly off camera so that you're not having the brush waving around in your face. Okay. So for the first coat, I just did strokes up and down. And that's almost dry. Actually, I might put my heat gun on and then I can finish it off. Probably dried in the time it's taken me to get the heat gun. Okay, I'm going to turn this on now. And I have really pretty nail polish now. I struggle with nail polish, guys. I've tried and tried and tried to use nail polish, and I can put nail polish on, and I don't know if there's anybody else out there who's the same. So the second coat, I just did my brush using circular motion so that I didn't have those line marks in my gesso. I do have some. So perhaps I should have, I've just looked at the other tags, perhaps I should have done the same thing when I did my first coat. Either way, as long as it's got the coverage, it doesn't really matter. I just found this was easier to get the coverage over the tag and to even out the coat rather than doing the brush strokes. I was getting areas on my tag that had more gesso than others, and I was having trouble spreading it out. So this also helped me spread it out. Yeah, so I've tried to wear nail polish, and on many occasions over many different years, all different brands, styles, types, and I can put nail polish on, and I've had nail polish not even last 5 minutes on my nails and it just peels off. Like I can touch a cupboard or a drawer handle picking something up or opening a drawer and it literally just flakes off my fingernail. So I even went down the path of acrylics for a while, and I've just resigned myself to the fact that I'm not meant to have pretty nails. I actually have a ton of nail polishes in my home, different nail polishes that I've tried or that I've liked and thought I would give them a go, and they just don't work. So that's the tag there with the gesso, and I'm just going to set that one aside to dry. And then we'll have a play with... Sorry, I'm just trying to make room to set this tag. I have so many projects on the go at the moment. I've got things everywhere. Now, okay, so as I mentioned to you before, the idea for these tags was from Deborah from the Attic, or Attic Lane, and I will put the link for her page in the description below. So now on the stamps, on the tags that she did, And I am following her instructions because her tags were so beautiful. She used a stamp, and I'm just reaching across the camera to get my stamp block. Actually, I might go that side. Very professional. Sorry guys, I've got gesso everywhere, but I've just seen another project over there that I had drying on my table that's now dry. Ready for my journal. Oh, suction has got a hold of that. There we go. So, I've just got a rose stamp. A lot of the journaling cards that I have printed off to include in this journal where I may need extra journaling cards are actually roses. So, and I'm going to go that way. So I'm using the Stays on Timber Brown. Okay, that's so pretty. And I don't know if you can see the map still in the background. Oh yes, I can see it on camera. So I love that. Okay. Now I'm not going to use the same stamp for all of them, so I do need to get a baby wipe just to clean that stamp off. The back of my desk seems so far away at the minute. Now that I've got the new shelving up, and I actually have things further away from me than I used to because I had a row of bits and pieces up against the back wall. Some go-to things like books that had book pages in them that I could use, and a couple of journals. My inspiration book would sit there, and they've kind of all moved and created this vast space at the back of my desk, and it's so fabulous actually. But I feel like I need extension arms to be able to reach everything, like Inspector Gadget. So I might use those. Sorry guys, I'm just looking through my stamps. I was going to put them up on the desk, but they won't actually fit with my camera stand there. I'm just looking for something a little bit fun and different. Actually, they might be really nice. I've got some new stamps here that I haven't used yet. Again, I ordered those stamps from crafting page that I'm on, and they were so bigger than I expected, but I love them. So I'm thinking we might have a little play with those. I actually really love that dragonfly, and the butterfly is really sweet too. Again, sort of sticking to the garden theme that I have going on with my journal. And there is this rose which is different again. Actually, that's really lovely. Let's try that with... I love the bird too. Oh my gosh, so many choices. So I haven't even opened this yet, guys. trying to get the others off. Wow, guys. Seriously, is it just me? Does anybody else have moments like that? Good grief. Oh, golly. Okay, so now that we've created that commotion, I might just add a little bit of extra into that. It's actually a really pretty stamp. So worth the effort. Oh, goodness. That's so pretty. And I don't want to do a secondary stamp because it's already quite busy. So, on my stamping sheet. And what to use on this one. I don't know if I'm game enough to try another one of these. Oh, golly. Seriously, like they're part of the plastic and it just wouldn't lift. I think I really like the dragonfly. Unfortunately. Okay, hang on to your hats. Please let this one be easier. There must be an easier way, I'm sure. I don't know what it is though. Lucky they're tough. Almost. Here we go. Wowzers. Okay, that was fun. So I might put this one at the top. So pretty. So I'll just clean my stamp off. And you can see where I'm starting to build layers with my stamp sheet, which can make some really fun little tags or journaling cards in their own right. You can cut them up and just ink around the edges. And I love that it has that extra detail. It's kind of collaging with stamps. That's how I see it. Okay, thanks for bearing with me through that, guys. It was rather disastrous. If I think it's too disastrous, this video may never see the light of day. But, like I've said before, it's me. Disaster waiting to happen, I'm sure of it. Okay, now I have some inspirational words and phrases that are printed on tea-dyed paper. Now, some of these are from, and I have written it down, Natasha from Treasure Books, and I've added some of my own in amongst here as well. So I'm just going to pick out some once more. Oh, my belly, excuse me, I hope you can't hear that. I'll never stop dreaming, I like that. Live your dreams out loud. That one really talks to me too. Sorry guys, I really am just looking through these trying to find something that speaks to me. Actually, what I might do is use one that I found, and there you go, Natasha from Treasure Books. I'll see if I can link her. Hello everybody, I don't know what happened just now, but my camera stopped, so I'm going to test my powers of technology and see if I can link the two videos together. So I thought I'd continue taping. I have found my quotes, so I've saved you from that boredom, and I'm just going to glue them into place. I'm just using a glue stick. Now I actually like a bit of negative space, and for those of you who don't know, by negative space I mean just the blank area where there's no detail. Sometimes it gives the eye a chance to rest for a moment, so I don't have a problem with some negative space on my pieces of work. In actual fact, I prefer to be able to include some negative space. It's not always the case. Different if you're doing a collage or something like that where you want all of the background to be covered. But for something like this, so that's that one. And then my last step is to just ink around them. Just pop that over to the side. And I'm thinking maybe a fabric topper for these. And I've got the tea stained file folder, so I'm just leaving it as is on the back. I'm not going to do anything with it. I didn't think about it until just now, but I may do a little sewing around the edges, maybe a straight sew around the edges. I'll see how it looks when I'm finished and decide if I want to add that detail, but that would give it another dimension as well. So I may do that. I may just sew around the edges. Now I did get a little bit of gesso on the back, so I'm just going to tone that down with my ink. And I actually love the simplicity of them. They're not overly busy. And sometimes I feel like a journal can be very busy, so it's almost like a breath of fresh air. So again, just toning down the gesso that I got on the back. And I could be worrying about the fact that that happened, but it kind of just adds to that vintage, aged with time kind of feel to me. So I'm totally okay with that. Okay, so I might just take this one and I might quickly sew around it. And that way I can show you guys before I turn off the camera. Those threads off in a moment. I just wanted to show you the final result before I turn the camera off. I love the detail of that sewing actually, and that'll add a little detail to the back as well. So I will go ahead and sew the others. Anyway, I just wanted to let you see the finished tags. I'm hoping I can somehow stitch this video to the last one, and I'm really sorry that that happened. I have no idea why. I don't know if I bumped the camera or what happened, but I just seem to have this list of ongoing bloopers, and it is what it is. I'm sorry. Okay, thank you so much for joining me, and by all means check out Attic Lane because this was a fabulous idea and I'm looking forward to discovering more on her channel. I have watched her in the past, but you see so many different ideas and thought processes and so on that you forget what you've already seen. So I'm looking forward to revisiting some of her videos so that I can pick up some more amazing ideas. Okay, thank you so much for joining me, everybody.
Happy crafting.